Google has a function in Sheets that can let you keep track of your stock prices and help you quickly research the price of a stock. So, and it's called Google Finance. So =, Google Finance, one word, and then you enter the ticker and then what you want, whether you can get the high, the low, the close, the current price. The prices are within 20 minutes. Most people would want the price. Here's how it would look like. Equal Google Finance, and the first thing you enter is the ticker. Let's say just the price of Google. Google Finance, open bracket, Goog for Google, and then let's say we want the price. Put price in quotation marks, exactly like this. Gives you a second. That's the price within 20 minutes. And now you don't want to have to enter the formula every time. And you might have a portfolio already. So maybe I have a portfolio that's Google, Microsoft, and Apple. So =, Google Finance, and instead of typing out the ticker, I'm going to point to my cell. So here I have 0.1, then price. Give it a moment. And here's where you can use the copy formula. Copy, paste, paste, and we can see it has updated. So this would be current price. And if I wanted to insert a heading, my stock price, I could select this format, alternating colors, and there could nicely list all of my stocks. And you can get a little more complicated. You can calculate earnings per share. You can compare it to the price when you bought the stock. You could compare it to the total value, what percentage that investment is of your total portfolio. But that's basically the idea. Here's another thing you can do. I'm going to find a range, and I'm going to pick the last 30 days in December. So I'm going to go Google. Now once I start to use this, it'll start to autocomplete, and you can just type, click on it, and it'll finish it off. So I want Google, and I want the price, and this will default to the most recent price. So what's my start date? It's going to be the 1st of December. And so you can see we have date, year, month, day. Close brackets. What's our closing date? It's the last day of the year. 2020, December 31st. And there it automatically generates a range. Now, let's say, you wanted to just do the last 30 days. So I'm going to replace this starting date with 30 days before today. And then I'm going to replace the ending day with today. So it's picked the most recent prices. Now that's a slight difference, because we're close to the beginning. Let's just say you want to see a bigger difference the last 10 days of trading. There's been some holidays, so it hasn't traded on every single day. Now I'm going to use this function to figure out who won our stock market challenge. So when I pick firstly I'm going to have to figure out the price on the opening day of our contest, which was November 23rd, 11:23. Now, you can see that it generated this 4-table or sort of 4-cell matrix. I don't want this. I just want one cell in particular. So I'm going to put index in front, start my bracket. I'm going to add second column, second row. You can see I want the bottom row, the rightmost column. And there I have just the price. And you can put it in currency format, just to make it look a little more efficient. So here's going to be, I'm going to do it as a sample. Now, formulas are great because you can cut and paste. So here I have everything set up to give me the starting price for Google. And okay, so I got, it's that ticker. So I'm going to point my cursor to B2, and then I've put in date, and make sure that when you select this, you format it as a date, as some kind of a date, so that it knows. In this case, it's month, date, year, but it has to be a date. Here, I'll just to show you what I'll change it to this style of date. It won't, so that it knows that this value is a date. So equals Google Finance. First thing, I want Google. I want the price, and I want the price on the 23rd. So I put the dollar signs in, so I'm always going to refer to C1 for that column. And then you can see I use that little index shortcut, so I go directly to the price that I want. Now, I want the close, so my closing date is December 18th. So I've pointed at D1, and I want to figure out the change. Now, how did I get this color? Well, what I did was I went to Format, Conditional Formatting, and this box came out, and I selected a color scale. So whichever one's doing the worst is going to get red. If they're in the middle, they'll get white, so neutral. And if they get the best, they'll be green. So that'll help me see which one's doing good. Now, let's say somebody picked some stocks, that were not from the US, that were not on NYSE or NASDAQ. Let's say Toronto Dominion Bank. Now, the short form for that is TD.TO, Toronto Dominion.TO for Toronto. I want this line here in Google Finance if I'm not sure what exchange it trades on. So under their formatting, I want it to TSE:TD. And here I took out the space. And then IBM, okay, we know that's on New York, Microsoft. Now this is Samsung. Now I went to look up the Samsung stock price. I copied that piece of information, and this is their ticker, and I removed the 0 here. I'll just do that right now. So again, here's what I would copy. Put it in there. Now this is what's going to save me some time. I'm going to copy this range of columns. Oh, here's what went wrong. When I was cutting and pasting it, made a little error. So obviously, out of these, you can see if someone had picked Samsung, they would be the winner in this little contest, and it has, colored them green. And I just want to double check. Equal. There's a function called rank. Rank. First one is which cell do you want to rank? Well, I want to rank their increase. Well, what's the rank in comparison to? Out of all of these. So it's from E2 to E6. Now, when I cut and paste it, I don't want it to move one row down. I want it to stay fixed, so I'm going to enter Control C. Now, because I had set this up as a percent, it thinks that this wants to be a percent. So I'll just, go back to decimal and decrease the number of spaces. Okay, so there we can see that's the winner. And you can see that because I put the dollar signs in front of the row, it didn't change it. It just changed that one cell that we're evaluating. So that's gonna save me, a lot of time. So I add everyone, I fill out a Google form, and so here is my here's the information. I'm gonna make sure that I get the person's name, the stock that they picked, and I'm going to copy it. Go back into our stock price table. See, it's ready to go. Paste it in there. Saves me some time. Now I'm going to go and get the I'm going to get these same form, these three columns. Now, just make sure that, now I changed the table around a little bit, so I got to make sure that I'm still referencing the right material. So here, I got to make sure I'm referencing D1, and for here, got to make sure that I'm referencing E1 because I had added an extra thing for the person's name. Now that I can see my first one, it's working. I'm going to copy all three of them. Now you can just paste one at a time. But actually, what we'll do is I'm going to plant the whole thing in there. Now, for my conditional formatting, looks like it didn't quite copy the way I intended. Always give these an eyeball. So format, conditional formatting, and color scale. So, the min value, I remember that's going to be red. The median percentile, that's going to be white. And the maximum value, that's going to be green. All right, so now we got a little bit of a, visual representation. It looks like there's a few Tesla fans, PayPal, Bioenergy, Disney, Netflix. Looks like they're the winners. So, equal. I'm going to use my rank formula. Now the moment of truth. Equal rank. Now there happens to be 30 responses. So from F $2 to F $31. And I'll select the whole thing, paste it in there, and who won? Oh, it's Sophia, so congratulations. And that's how you can use some conditional formatting, how you can use the rank function. You know, we could continue this for the month of January. We could introduce a third column and see who changes the most. And then there's also, you know, a little bit of the color schemes and a little bit of another formula you may not be aware of.